No! Let me go!
Keep moving, get her in.
Help! Someone please!
Almost there, push.
Noxie, please help me. They want to kidnap me, please!
Quiet, girl, keep moving. No one's
Please let
People
me
in
go!
Asaba used to call me the Golden Girl. Not because I was rich, not because I was powerful, but because wherever I went, eyes followed. My name is Amara Okolie, and in my father's house, I was the one everyone talked about, the one they compared their daughters to, the one aunties used as example, the one my sister learned to hate. Her name was Ngozi, and she buried me alive. We lived on Okpanam Road, one of those long, quiet streets in Asaba where everyone knows everyone and secrets travel faster than KK. Our house wasn't big, but it was always full. My father, Mr. Okolie, was a retired civil servant. My mother sold fabrics at Okbogonogo Market. Then there was me and Ngozi, two sisters, same parents, same blood, but completely different lives. From secondary school, I was already known. Teachers praised me, neighbors called me fine girl, even church members whispered whenever I passed. I didn't try to be special, but attention followed me like a shadow. Ngozi was older than me by 3 years. She was quiet, always indoors, always watching. At first, I thought she just didn't like noise. I didn't know she was counting every compliment, every smile, every time someone said my name instead of hers. The real problem started the day a man came to our house. His name was Chinedu, rich, well dressed, from a good family in Auka. He came with his mother to greet my parents, but when he entered the sitting room, his eyes didn't stop on Ngozi. They stopped on me. I remember it clearly. Ngozi offered him water. He didn't even look at her. But when I came out from the room, he stood up. That was the first time I saw something dark pass through my sister's eyes. Something that was not human. That night, she didn't eat, she didn't talk. She just sat on her bed staring at the wall and whispering my name. From that day, Ngozi changed. She started acting nice, too nice. She brushed my hair, borrowed my clothes, complimented me in front of people, but behind her eyes, there was fire. I didn't know then, but jealousy is more dangerous when it is quiet, because loud enemies fight you, silent ones bury you. One evening, she knocked on my door. Amara, she said softly, let's go and visit my friend in Ibusa tomorrow. She's having a small birthday gathering. I hesitated, but she smiled. That same fake smile I saw the day she buried me. I agreed, because she was my sister, because I trusted her, because I didn't know I was already walking into my grave. We entered a KK that evening. Ngozi sat beside me. She held my hand tightly, too tightly. The road was quiet. The sky was dark, no stars. Somewhere between Asaba and Ibusa, the KK stopped. She said, let's walk from here. My friend's house is close. I followed her into the bush, into silence, into death. As she stopped walking, I asked, Ngozi, where is your friend's house? She turned slowly and smiled. The same smile from the day Chinedu looked at me. Then she said, Amara, you talk too much, and pushed me. Where are you watching from? Or drop your country flag in the comments if you're proud of your country. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Grab your popcorn as we continue. When Ngozi pushed me, I didn't fall immediately. My leg hit a stone and I stumbled forward, almost catching my balance. Ngozi, what is wrong with you? I laughed nervously. Is this some kind of joke? She didn't answer. The bush around us was thick, tall grasses, mosquitoes, crickets screaming in the darkness. The kind of place nobody would hear you if you screamed. That was when I noticed something. The road we left behind was gone. No sound of kike, no headlights, no human noise, just bush. And my sister, standing there, silent, breathing heavily. She slowly removed her slippers, placed them beside a tree. Then she rolled up the sleeves of her blouse. That was when fear finally entered my body. Ngozi, what are you doing? She looked at me. Her eyes were no longer my sister's eyes. They were empty, like two dark holes. Amara, she said quietly, do you know how it feels to live in the shadow of your own blood? I didn't understand. I just shook my head. She laughed, a dry laugh. Not the kind you laugh when something is funny, the kind you laugh when something inside you has broken. You think life is easy for me, she continued. Everywhere we go, it's Amara this, Amara that. Even when I'm standing, they look for you. I try to step back. My foot hit something hard, a shovel. My heart dropped. Ngozi, why is there a shovel here? She smiled, a real smile this time, the kind that shows teeth. Because today, the talking will stop. That was when I heard footsteps from behind the trees. Three men stepped out. I didn't recognize their faces, but I recognized fear. They were holding a sack, a rope, another shovel. My throat went dry. Ngozi, who are these people? She didn't answer me. She answered them. Do it. I tried to run. One of the men grabbed my hair. Another held my hands. I screamed my sister's name. Ngozi, please, it's me, your sister. She stood there, watching, not crying, not shaking, just watching like she was finally watching a movie she had waited years to see. One of the men tied my hands. Another forced the sack over my head. I was still screaming, but the bush swallowed my voice. They dragged me. I felt the ground change from grass to loose soil. Then the sack was removed. I saw it, a deep hole, fresh, dark. The earth around it was wet, recently dug. My legs gave way. I fell to my knees. Ngozi, please, I will leave this house. I will go far. You will never see me again. She looked at me and said the sentence that killed my soul before my body. It's too late. You already lived my life. As they lifted me, she moved closer and whispered into my ear, You know why I hate you? It's not because you're beautiful. It's because when people see you, they forget I exist. Tears ran into my mouth, salt, bitter. The man lifted me. My feet dangled over the hole. I could smell earth, damp, cold, death. They dropped me. I hit the bottom hard. My back screamed in pain. Before I could stand, the first shovel of sand entered. Then another, then another. I screamed. I begged. I prayed. I shouted, Jesus. I called my mother. I called my father. I called Ngozi. But the earth kept coming, filling my mouth, my nose, my eyes. My world became dark, heavy, tight. I felt my lungs burning. Then everything went quiet. The last thing I heard before I lost consciousness was my sister's voice, calm, satisfied. Cover it well. Make sure no trace remains. Then footsteps, walking away, leaving me under the earth, alive. I don't know how long I stayed under the ground. Seconds, minutes, hours. All I know is I woke up and I was still breathing, under the soil, in total darkness, with no way out. Where are you watching from? Drop your country flag in the comments if you're proud of your country, and don't forget to like, share. They say death is quiet. They lied. Death is loud inside your head. The first thing I felt was pain, not sharp pain, not the kind that makes you scream. It was the kind that sits inside your bones and refuses to move. My chest felt like a heavy stone was placed on it. I tried to inhale. Nothing. I tried again. Only dust entered my nose. That was when reality hit me. I was alive, but buried. I opened my eyes, but there was no difference. No light, no shadow, no up or down, just darkness. The kind of darkness that feels thick, like you can touch it. My mouth was full of sand. My hair was stiff with mud. My hands were still tied, and I was inside the earth. I wanted to scream, but when I opened my mouth, soil entered. I choked, coughed, swallowed dirt. My heart began to race, fast, too fast. This is how people die, I thought. Not from the burial, but from panic. I tried to move. My legs couldn't stretch. My arms couldn't rise. The hole was small, too small. They had buried me like an animal, curled, folded, compressed. I tried to shift my body. The earth pressed back. It felt like the ground itself was hugging me, tightly, aggressively, as if it was trying to become part of me. The only sound I could hear was my heart. Boom, 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 loud in my ears. I was breathing shallowly, short breaths, because every deep breath brought more soil into my nose. I remembered something my biology teacher once said: if you're trapped, breathe slowly. Panic kills faster than oxygen loss. So I tried. Inhale small, exhale small. My tears flowed, but even crying was difficult. The earth absorbed everything: my fear, my tears, my voice. That was when memories started coming, not the bad ones, the good ones. My mother calling me to help in the shop, my father teaching me how to ride a bicycle, Ngozi and I playing in the rain when we were children. I remembered her laughter, real laughter, not the dry one. I remembered when she defended me from bullies, when she used to braid my hair. We used to sleep on the same bed, tell each other secrets. So, when did she become this person? When did my sister become my killer? At some point, I started hearing voices, not real ones, inside my head. Amara, wake up. Amara, it's time. I thought I was dying. I thought my brain was shutting down. I even smiled. Maybe death would be easier than this. Then I felt something, movement, not from me, from above. I froze. Was someone digging, or was my mind playing tricks on me? I held my breath, listened. Nothing. Just silence, just the earth. As time passed, the air became strange, warm, stale, like something rotten. I realized it wasn't the air, it was me, my sweat, my fear, my body slowly turning into something else. I thought about how people would say, she disappeared. She probably ran away. Maybe she followed a man. No one would ever say she was buried alive by her sister, because no one would ever believe that kind of evil. I started praying, not loud, because I couldn't, but inside my heart. God, please, even if I die, let someone know the truth. Don't let Ngozi live in peace. I wasn't even asking to survive anymore. I just wanted justice, even if it came after death. That was when something strange happened. I felt warmth, not from the soil, from inside me, like fire. My chest began to feel light. My breathing slowed. The panic disappeared. It felt like someone placed a hand on my heart and whispered, not yet. I don't know if it was God, I don't know if it was madness, but I felt calm for the first time since I was buried. I tried to move my fingers again. This time, they moved, just a little. I tried my legs, they twitched. The earth around me felt softer, less tight, like it was loosening. I don't know how, but I felt space, tiny space, enough to breathe, enough to hope. That was when I made a decision. If I was going to die, I would die. Fighting. I started moving slowly, not violently, small movements, pressing my shoulder, turning my neck, shifting my hips. The soil resisted, but it also moved, bit by bit, grain by grain. I was making space inside a grave. Just when I felt I could push my hand upward, I heard a sound. From above, footsteps coming back, and a voice I knew too well, Ngozi, saying, wait, I think I still heard something. The worst thing about being buried alive is not the darkness, it is the hope. Because the moment you start believing you might survive is usually the moment they come back to finish the job. When I heard Ngozi's voice again, my whole body froze. Not because I couldn't move, but because I didn't want to be heard. I stopped breathing, I stopped shifting, I stopped even swallowing. I became part of the earth. Above me, the footsteps grew louder. I could hear dry leaves cracking. I could hear her voice clearly. Now, nonsense! How can a person survive that long? Another voice replied, one of the men. Madam, we should just check, to be safe. My heart began to beat so loudly I was sure they could hear it. Boom, boom, boom. If they touched the soil, if they dug even 1 inch, they would find me alive, and this time they wouldn't bury me again. They would make sure I died properly. I wanted to cry, but tears were dangerous. Any movement could shift the soil, any sound could alert them, so I lay there, stiff, in pain, my muscles burning, my lungs screaming for air. Above me, I felt vibrations. The ground moved slightly. Someone stepped directly over my chest. The weight pressed down. I almost lost consciousness. Ngozi laughed, a soft laugh. See, I told you, nothing is here. Another man said, but what if she didn't die immediately? There was silence. Then Ngozi said something that killed me inside. Even if she's alive, she will die eventually. The earth will finish what I started. Then I heard it. The sound of metal hitting soil. They were digging, not to rescue me, to bury me deeper. Fresh soil began to fall, heavier, colder, more aggressive. The little space I had created disappeared. My chest tightened, my throat burned. I wanted to scream, but I remembered something. They didn't know I was alive. They thought they were burying a corpse, so I stayed silent while they killed me again. This time, I truly believed it was over. My body was tired. My mind was tired. Even hope felt heavy. I started thinking about my funeral. Who would cry? Who would pretend? Who would say nice words? Ngozi would wear black. She would cry the loudest. She would receive condolences and sleep peacefully at night while I turned into dust. That was when I stopped struggling. Not because I accepted death, but because I was angry. Angry at God. Angry at my parents. Angry at myself. Why did I trust her? Why didn't I see it? Why was I always smiling? Why was I always trying to please people? Why was my beauty a death sentence? At some point, I drifted, not fully asleep, not fully awake. I saw myself standing in front of our house on Okpanam Road. The gate was open, the house was empty, no furniture, no voices, just silence. Then I saw a woman. She looked like me, but older. Her eyes were dark, deep. She said, "They buried your body, not your spirit." I tried to ask her what she meant, but she disappeared, and I woke up coughing soil. This time the sound I heard was different. Not footsteps, not voices, but something mechanical. A loud engine, then human voices, different voices, men shouting, lights flashing. I thought I was hallucinating again until I felt vibration, strong vibration, the ground shaking, a bulldozer. They were clearing the bush. I felt the earth above me move, large. Chunks of soil were removed. Suddenly, light, real light, not imagined, not remembered, actual light entered my eyes. I screamed, not in fear, in shock. Hands grabbed me, pulled me, dragged me out. I collapsed on the ground, coughing, spitting soil, crying, breathing real air. I was alive. They were construction workers, clearing land for a new estate. One of them saw my hand. They rushed me to the nearest clinic. The nurse cried when she saw me. I was dehydrated, bleeding, half conscious, but alive, against all logic, against all science, against all evil. When I woke up in the hospital, a police officer asked me, "Who did this to you?" I opened my mouth, but no sound came out. Because how do you tell someone that your own sister buried you alive? I finally whispered her name, Ngozi. The officer wrote it down and said, "We'll go to her house." That was when fear returned. Not fear of death, fear of what my sister would do now that she knew I survived. Some people think surviving death is the end of the story, but sometimes surviving is just the beginning of the real punishment. When the police vehicle stopped in front of our house on Okpanam Road, my heart started beating again like I was still inside that grave. The house looked normal, too normal. My mother was sweeping the compound. My father was sitting on the veranda. Life was moving, as if I had never been buried, as if I had never screamed under the earth, as if I had never died. When my mother lifted her head and saw me stepping down from the police car, she dropped the broom. It fell from her hand like a dead thing. "Amara," she whispered. Her legs failed her. She sat down on the ground. My father stood up. Slowly, his eyes widened. Then he shouted, "Ghost!" He started crying like a child. They both ran to me, touched my face, my hands, my hair. My mother kept repeating, "You're alive, you're alive, my daughter is alive." And behind them, Ngozi was standing at the door, watching. Our eyes met for the first time since the bush, for the first time since the grave. She went pale. Her lips started shaking, not because she was sorry, but because her secret had returned, alive. The police officer asked her, "Madam, where were you 2 nights ago?" She stammered, I I was at home. I laughed, a weak laugh, but painful. "You were burying me." The whole compound went silent. My mother turned slowly. What did she say? I looked at Ngozi and said the words I had carried under the earth. She buried me alive. Ngozi fell to her knees, not in repentance, but in defeat. The men she hired had already been arrested. They had confessed everything. They gave her name, her phone number, her plan, her payment. There was no escape. At the police station, she finally spoke, between tears, between shaking. I was tired of being invisible, even in my own family. I didn't exist. Everything was Amara. I just wanted her to disappear. My mother slapped her. My father turned his back. I just looked at her and felt nothing. No anger, no hatred, just emptiness. Because the person who tried to kill me was already dead inside. Ngozi was sentenced to prison. The men too. Our family name was broken, but I was alive. I left Azaba months later. New city, new life, new name, new beginning. I still have scars on my body, in my dreams. But I learned something. The worst enemies are not strangers. They are the ones who know your face, your voice, and still choose to bury you. Sometimes survival is not about escaping death. It's about exposing evil and walking away from it, alive. Where are you watching from? Drop your country flag in the comments if you're proud of your country. If this story touched you, like, share, and subscribe because some stories are not just for entertainment, they are warnings.